This is the morning crossfire. Wemimo to you, Lagos, Nigeria. As promised, we are continuing our coverage of it for 1 hour at this time of the elections in Bayelsa and Kogi. It all happened. It went down on Saturday. We were here before then. We started our live coverage of the elections on Thursday. We ran it up to Friday. We weren't tired because Saturday was the main thing. Then we continued again, 24/7, round the clock coverage of those elections in Bayelsa and Kogi State. And on Sunday, we were still here all day to bring you updates.
And all night.
And all night as well. Oh, goodness me, what a team.
The only
let
radio
me,
station.
let me give our team the shakere.
The only, honestly, Nigerian info.
It's such...
Even if we say so, I mean, the only radio station that can now bring you 24/7 coverage of elections,
and that is a fact.
Country.
That
Yes.
is a fact. It's not because we're here. It's not because we work here.
So,
it's what you yourself have witnessed.
If you
and it wasn't the first time we're doing this.
No, of course not. I mean, if you love your news and current affairs, and your dial goes past 99.3. Wherever you drift to, you're on the wrong station there.
We're sorry. I mean, if you are a news person and you're not here, we're sorry. You're just in the wrong place. Welcome to the Morning Crossfire once again. I am Sheriff Quadry. Rotimi Sankore, you heard his voice. He is here with me in the studio. Rotimi, what a great job. Last night I was listening to you and the interview that our correspondent Joshua Rogers had with some civil society was cracking me up real good. I was just laughing.
There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things that we discovered this weekend.
Right.
There are a lot of things we know that were reinforced very strongly. And for me, it wasn't even the interviews that we had in the evening.
Right.
It was some of the things that we had during the daytime. Like the lady that was sent to serve in Bayelsa.
Right.
Recruited as ad hoc staff. And because she had to bring the results manually in person, slept on a boat in the night in the middle of the sea.
They left at 5 a.m. Was it 5 a.m. and they got there? No, they left 5 p.m. and they got there at 7 a.m. She slept
on a
right
boat.
there.
Someone who has never. I mean, it is incredible. Anyway, let's take the
we'll
live
get,
report. We'll
yes.
come back to this.
Our correspondent in Bayelsa State, Joshua Rogers, joins us right now. Joshua, good morning to you.
Yeah, this is Soibi Orua.
Oh, Soibi is joining me first. Soibi, thank you. What a great job you guys did. Any update for us?
Yeah, no update. The only update is that yesterday, before 2, the INEC declared the APC governorship candidate as the governor-elect of the state.
Right.
And there was wide jubilation, right inside the hall. Those persons that that said they are governorship candidates and members of different parties.
Members of different parties, they were jubilating.
Yeah, they were the first person to start the jubilation. So I was wondering, is there an organized agents of different parties or governorship candidates of different parties? But all what it sends is that the Bayelsans from the poll side felt that the Bayelsans need a sense of belonging, and they want a new leave for another new start. I think that was what that jubilation signified.
But that was in the hall, on the night. But how about the pulse of the people generally, in the towns?
Yeah, this happened around early hours of today. That was around 1:25
Right.
a.m. So nobody was there. We have to drive around where the INEC office is far away from our hotel. We drove 30 minutes to our hotel, but nobody was seen. Just one or two persons, all of them, just two or three persons. They were telling us, look, we're happy that it happened this way. We're happy that it happened this way. We aren't surprised that it will turn out this way. That this was their expectation. It was a fulfillment of what they have been expecting. So it wasn't different. But this morning we are going to go out to also find out what did they think about this new start in Bayelsa, because this has to be a new start. This is the first time the opposition is taking over.
What is the ruling party saying in Bayelsa as regards the outcome, the result announced
yes,
by INEC?
Before even INEC officially announced the result, I guess they must have got wind of how it will go. They first of all raised alarm that security men connived with INEC to doctor result and all of that. So in the course of the press briefing, the governorship candidate of PDP, Senator Doye Dewey, rejected. He said he will certainly reject any result that does not conform to the result he has from his party agent. And that was what he told us. So put it together, meaning he has rejected it. He said he's going to reject. And when they finally made the announcement, I think I put a call across to one of his media aides. He said they are going by the press release, the press briefing he held with the journalists that has confirmed that his fears. The announcement has confirmed his fears, that his earlier fears that this is what is going to happen. So they've totally rejected the result. Even the PDP state collection agent right there, I spoke with him.
Right.
Barrister Ojidwe Ojon.
It's all right.
Osusu said they will contest this result in the tribunal. That was what he told me. He said they are going to contest it in the tribunal because there are a lot of abnormalities that came with these electoral processes.
Right.
He is alleging that some persons were kidnapped, even in Sagbama. Some electoral officers were kidnapped. That was what he told me. Though the police did not confirm. I had to put a call to the police PRO. He did not confirm whether such happened. But he is saying that even where there is alarm that these persons were arrested, results were still announced. So they were surprised that I could do that. That was what he told me.
So, please hold the line. Let me come to Rotimi in the studio. Rotimi, you heard what Soibi said. And during from the front papers this morning, the international observers and even local observers condemned the level of violence in Bayelsa and Kogi, so to speak.
Well, I mean, it's surprising to see some people saying it in the news today or implying that by Bayelsa standard, the level of violence that they saw was acceptable.
It was less.
So, I mean, they think that the observers are judging them by other alien standards. So, it's not clear how that is going to play out. I mean, what is going to play out certainly is going to be that, first of all, even within APC, there is going to be an almighty fight for who is actually going to be governor.
Right. Because the case is still in court.
Yes. Because unlike during the primary, when you are fighting speculatively that if you become the candidate, you may become governor.
Right.
Yes.
The APC aspirants now know that whoever wins the battle within APC will become governor according to the result announced.
Right.
So they are first going to slug it out within APC.
Yes.
And then when they finish slugging it out, then they will slug it out with PDP. Oh my goodness!
That's like a long that's like a long messy battle ahead of us. But Sebi, you mentioned what the PDP alleged about violence and all of that. But as a reporter who monitored the election in Bayelsa, what can you tell us about the level of violence that happened during the election there?
Bayelsa has its local government areas. Majority of the local governments are in the hinterland, the riverine area, and I must tell you, I was never privy to the riverine area. The only place I covered was Yenegua and the Sagbama Azes. Those areas, there were pockets of violence. One prominently was that of Biobolo and Opolo. I witnessed it. Nobody told me. I witnessed it. I saw it. It was a massive one, if not for the timely intervention of the combined security agencies. They came and quickly swept into action, and I think that paid off. That what Unit 4 and Unit 6 that was supposed not to have held election, if not for the timely intervention of the security agents, finally held their election. Mind you, what Unit 16 and Unit 15 could not hold their election. Materials came around 3:30.
Okay.
When materials came, because of this violence, so just because of this electoral violence, voters were scared. They were running at us. Even the electoral officers that came earlier had to go back and call for more security. And when they came, they only came with Unit 15. So the voters requested that without Unit 15, Unit 16, they will never participate in the election. And all the electoral materials were sent back to the office. Violence in Yenegua.
So in the end, 15 and 16 units, they weren't able to vote?
Never.
Were results declared from there?
Yeah. Though the INEC returning officer for Yenegua did mention that there are certain units that were cancelled due to confirmed violence. He did mention, but did not mention specifically the units, but total units of about 7 or 8 units in Yenegua that was cancelled. So I believe that maybe Unit 16 and Unit 15 are among those units he mentioned that were cancelled due to electoral violence. But see, Akinfa, Onupa, and Bogene that I visited, I didn't see level of violence. Sometimes there is a need for voters to sometimes argue. That happened, but that of Jogolo and Opolo was so prominent that I witnessed, and I know that there were pockets of violence in that area.
All right.
That's what I can say for sure that took place in Yenegua local government that I covered.
All right. Sebi, I'm going to have to let you go now. Thank you for doing a great job. Hopefully you make it back to Port Harcourt in good time before the end of the day. Thank you, Sebi.
Thank you.
Rotimi, there you go. Updates from Sebi Uruari, our reporter who covered the election in Bayelsa. We'll be speaking with Joshua Rogers, another of our reporter who covered elections in some parts of Bayelsa as well, any moment now. But looking at the performance of INEC, how would you describe it, Rotimi?
Well, as I said over the weekend, everybody that knows what elections should look like is not happy with the process. But in terms of apportioning blame, we should be scientific about it. We should identify the issues that are INEC's faults, and we should identify the issues that are structural. In other words, the problems with the larger society.
Right.
Because, for instance, in Bayelsa, INEC did not design the topography in Bayelsa where you have to travel for hours by water to either deliver the voting material. So in that case, that's not INEC's fault.
Right.
You have to physically deliver the voting material.
Absolutely.
And you have to travel hours by water, sometimes evading pirates left, right, and center before you arrive there. However, for when the results are coming back,
Right.
you can say that maybe INEC is not pushing the case for the electronic transfer of results strongly enough, even though it is not INEC that makes the laws.
Exactly.
It's the National Assembly and the President has to assent.
Exactly.
But if INEC makes that case strong enough to say, we can understand why we have to take the physical material by donkey, by canoe, by whatever. But why do they have to bring the results
Physically again.
in that same form when the results are declared, all the agents sign, you take a picture of the thing, certify it, and you can send that same certified electronic copy to the collation center, and all the agents get that same one you send to INEC.
Right.
And their own agents can send their own picture and they can verify the two side by side
Right.
within 5 minutes as to whether or not it is the correct thing that has been signed. And then why don't they upload it? We saw in Kenya what happened with the result now. Everybody signs, certify, scan, upload. So that even the voters in any polling station, any local government can check. Is this what we saw that is up on the site and was transmitted? That way you can crowdsource the fact checking.
Right.
And the results can arrive there in less than 5 minutes after it is concluded. I mean, why do we have to wait until 2 a.m. on Monday, or in the case of Kogi, we don't even know when they are going to finish.
We have no idea.
They are going to resume at 9
We have
a.m.
no idea.
So if INEC pushes it strong enough and says they cannot continue to do that anymore, then National Assembly will have to sit up. President will be compelled to sign.
Well, Rotimi, to be fair, the electoral amendment bill is on the table of the president.
Yes,
He's yet to
yes,
sign
but
it.
see, but the point I'm making is this: the physical transporting of the material,
Right.
INEC can't do anything about that. The return of the results, INEC can make the case and say we can't do this again in 2023. If you know, it will destroy any credibility in the election.
It's just impossible to want to repeat that in
So
2023.
you know, if I was the INEC chair, I mean, what does he have to lose? If he comes out and just say we've tried it, it doesn't work.
Could it be that INEC is trying to guard against any litigation as to whether INEC is infusing electronic method of voting into the process, which doesn't acknowledge?
INEC has made it clear that the law does not allow the electronic transfer, so that's done. The law is the law. But INEC can say that they cannot continue with this mess of the physical, you know, by donkey, by pigeon, by canoe, they can make that case. Even while we know that they are not the ones that make the law, but they are in the best position to make that case. Of course, we as media, we can see what is happening, and civil society can see what is happening. There are a lot of areas where INEC has zero responsibility. For instance, this PVC thing, in any developed country, the normal civil registration of when you are born, you get a birth certificate, you get your social security number and so forth. I mean, people in developed countries think it is insane to burden INEC with this problem of printing plastic for everybody. So there are things that are not INEC's fault. There are things that maybe it's up to us to understand everything, but the electoral reform, it now has to happen.
Indeed. Let's quickly speak with Joshua Rogers, who joins us from Bayelsa this morning. Joshua, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sherry.
Fantastic job over the weekend. Great job. What can you tell us? What's new?
Yeah, what is new from what I have seen here are two things. That election held in Bayelsa State since 1999 and no life was lost. And two, that an opposition political party for the first time since 1999 is winning the PDP in Bayelsa State. I think that is a clear statement. If you speak to people on the street, just while I was on this call waiting for this interview, an elderly man just walked past here. I was very angry that the Dixon administration has not paid him his pension. So those were part of the issues that, apart from the issue the PDP had during the primaries, where some people think that the process was not credible enough, or they didn't give them the fair opportunity to contest in that primaries. There are a couple of people within town, just like the elderly man, but I want to hold him down for a moment to speak why he's angry. His home was a protest vote. He voted for the APC because his pension has not been paid, and the state that the governor was not feeling concerned about it. So there are those issues that contributed. I don't know if you can hear from the background here. There are a group of women who are jubilating with brooms, rappers, jubilating that the APC won.
Oh,
so
wow.
Same story all over town. There are protest votes against the PDP.
Again, Joshua. Okay, go on, Joshua. Go on.
Yeah. The protest vote came in two ways. One was about the administration of the Dixon administration, and the other was about within the PDP, an internal issue that they had.
That's the question I was going to ask. That's the question I was going to ask. As to the pulse of the people generally, if their votes counted, genuinely counted, are we saying that is the people that voted, the PDP out of power in Bayelsa, or it could have been necessitated by the internal wrangling in the party, in the PDP in the state, knowing full well that the leader of the party allegedly sidelined all the big wigs of the party, even the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, the leader of the party, that's Sankore Dixon, isn't in his good books.
It may have been possible for the PDP to win if the Dixon administration performed well, especially in worker salary and pension. This is more like a civil servant state. Everybody depends on that money that he's owing them. And then the issue. Yesterday we were at that collation center. Like in other places, when you cover the elections, you will see the other parties that are considered small political parties that will always form the IPAC group. You will see them split into, they will support this one or support that one. But the support all of them were given to the APC in that hall yesterday was so massive. It was like they all agreed. And I know from what I understand about the Nigerian political system, sometimes the big parties sponsor the small parties to come out, pick a form, governance for support, and ask your supporters to vote for me. So if all those small political parties yesterday, they didn't hesitate when the INEC returning officer finished reading out the results and wanted them to sign, they were rushing. The INEC officials were even begging them to wait, that they will call them alphabetically.
You should form an orderly queue.
So they were the ones telling the man, it's okay, we agree. So even if there is even if there was rigging during the election,
right?
The rigging was just done to suit what the people wanted. And, you understand? So they actually want it to happen like this. So They didn't resist the rigging. They are not complaining. If you see the margin of votes, in fact, when they call the APC vote and the PDP, you will hear them shout and chant. And so it was obvious that they didn't want this administration.
Joshua, the announcement of the Southern Niger results last night, that one led to a bit of comedy because the PDP rep stood up. We are watching the guy in disbelief. The guy stood up. He said, 590,000 for APC.
APC swept the entire
What
thing.
kind of democracy is this? And all the other parties we are saying to the guy is democracy.
Yeah.
And the thing descended into a village meeting. And I were saying that if the older listeners or viewers ever watched Icheoku,
Right.
the village, yes, the thing just descended into a village meeting where the lone policeman there looking like a district officer was trying to quell the
He was pleading. He was making them face front. Look at the computer. You go back and sit down. But do you know, even the Accord party that came third in this election,
Right.
the Accord party agents protested in almost all the cases. But it will always conclude that he's not asking INEC to cancel. That if they feel aggrieved, they know the appropriate place to go and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so he came. In fact, they are almost finished announcing the results when he came. But he went straight to the REC and the returning officer on the table there and asked that even though they have concluded everything, they should give you to sign that he has to sign. But that is the copy he will take back to court. You know that
Right.
it was only the PDP in that all.
Joshua, please hold the line. Stay on the line. Let's go out for a break. When we return, we'll talk about security situations in areas that you covered and what you could gather as a reporter covering the election on Saturday, on Sunday, even before the election. We'll do a recap of the security situation leading up to the election, during the election, and perhaps anyone that developed after the election. All right, just stay on the line. If you are just joining us, this is the Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Rotimi Sankore is in the studio. I am Sheriff Quadry. We head out now for a very quick break, and we'll be back after this.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
And we're back to the Morning Crossfire on your number one news, talk, and sports station, Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Lovely morning to you, Lagos. Thank you for remaining with us. Sunday morning Crossfire this morning. I am Sheriff Quadry. Rotimi Sankore is still here in the studio. Remember that you can actually join the conversation on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. On Facebook, it's Nigeria Info 99.3. Same for YouTube. For WhatsApp, the number is 0809 597 5805. That is 0809 597 5805. For WhatsApp portal, feel free to drop your comments. Joshua Rogers, our correspondent in Bayelsa, is still on the line. Joshua, thank you for holding the line.
All right.
Quickly, let's take a few comments from our WhatsApp portal. Abu from Oshodi says it's rather ironical for Buhari to say they won't interfere in election. Why money was released this week or last week? You mean claiming it was for federal road construction by the state government. This is a state governor that has not constructed any state road. Okay, all right. You didn't put SE there. Let's take another one from, what's your name? Innocent, Dr. Innocent Kokobili from Amwardofing. And Dr. Innocent said, what is happening in Kogi and Bayelsa State elections is very amusing to me, especially the Kogi election, where even the First Lady of Nigeria indirectly accused the governor of not paying salaries as at when due. I am laughing in French. We're not yet serious and truthful about this so-called democracy we are practicing. Dr. Innocent, thank you for your message. Chinedu says, number of toothless bulldog police were at Kogi when INEC chairman and police IG were tear-gassed and SDP governorship aspirant was molested. Chinedu at Idumota sent that in. And okay. All right. That's too much we can take on WhatsApp for now. I'll go back to the WhatsApp in a moment. But before I take on Joshua Rogers, civil society has been speaking and reacting to what happened in Kogi and Bayelsa. Let's start with Yaga Africa. This is Dr. Hussein Abdu, the chair, Yaga Africa, who addressed the media after the election. Take a listen to this.
The challenges in Kogi State 2019 gubernatorial election squarely lies on the role and failures of security agencies, the police in particular, political parties, their major candidates, and their state and non-state accomplices. The unacceptable vote procurement, that's vote buying, and violence perpetrated by the systematically recruited and prepared party officials and thugs were carried out under the full glare of the almost nonchalant security officials. They acted helplessly as if they were under instruction not to respond to the situation, if not already prepared to support the brigandage.
Dr. Hussein Abdul speaking there. Let's take a listen to Clement Wanko, convener Situation Room, also addressing the press after the election.
With particular reference to elections in Kogi State, levels of violence perpetrated by the two major political parties and politicians, evident sometimes in collusion with security personnel, seriously undermined the elections, deterred voters, and made the exercise a farce. Accordingly, Situation Room is calling for the cancellation of the entirety of the Kogi State elections conducted on 16 November 2019. The Kogi State governorship election represents a major dent to Nigeria's democratic process.
Indeed. Clement Nwako from the Situation Room briefing the press. Rotimi, before I come to you, let me release Joshua. Joshua, before I let you go, briefly speak to the electoral violence as claimed by the two voices you heard, Dr. Abdul, and of course Mr. Clement Wanko, as regards Kogi and Bayelsa elections. What situation report? You were there. You witnessed all of these things. How would you describe electoral violence during the election in Bayelsa?
Well, no violence should even take place that election. But if you consider how it has always been in Bayelsa from 1999, and from what we heard before we came here, how people told us it would be too much, there would be too much violence. It wasn't that as we thought. A place like Southern Niger, where it's always known to be rough, surprisingly, nothing like that happened. Then in Brass, nothing like that happened. Ekeremo, the same thing. It was only in Yenegua where there have always been peace during elections, that they had gunshots at Opolo, and then the military and other security agencies, soldiers and other security agencies immediately intervened and chased the guys away. Now, I will also say that the security agencies acted well. Maybe there were no issues that they need to suppress immediately, like it's happening in Kogi State,
right.
Because here everything is just working in one direction, so they didn't have to do much. But when we came in, I think from Thursday morning when I started going out, I found out, I was even asking my colleagues, where are those thousands of security agencies, security personnel that were deployed in Bayelsa here? Because you will expect, like we have covered elections in other areas, that you will expect conflict. From Friday morning, in fact, Thursday, you should be seeing police vans blocking the road, diverting traffic and all the rest. But it didn't happen until even Friday evening. It was on Saturday morning that police presence were very visible on the road. And at a polling unit where I was going to Kolokuma Pukuma, but I drove past a place that I stopped over. I pulled over to see what was happening. A soldier gave me a phone of his superior to give to him at that polling unit, telling me that he cannot go close to the polling unit because he was carrying an AK-47. He was carrying that he can't go close. So I was the one who took the phone because I'm a journalist. I wore my this accreditation tag and everything. So he trusted me. He just signaled his boss, telling him that I would bring the phone to him. So I went to the polling unit and gave the superior the phone. The superior was not carrying arms. He just fully dressed in camouflage. He wasn't carrying arms. But so that was the situation. They didn't have much to do because people didn't agitate too much. They all liked what was happening, even if there were irregularities. They liked it that it was going in the direction they expected the results to go. But in this case, there is always one thing, especially the government that has kept to power. If you watch what's happening in Liberia, even in Nigeria, it happened to Goodluck and it's happening to President Buhari. I think that when there is so much rot in the system and somebody is coming as the messiah to salvage the situation, with time, people may get fed up with the person because the expectations are high. The expectations of Bayelsans are very, very high. David Leon really has to sit down very well and get a lot of things fixed. Otherwise, people will think that he's a failure in a short while because they expect so much from him right now.
Joshua Rogers, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning on the Morning Crossfire. Hopefully you get back to Port Harcourt as quickly as possible today.
Yeah, thanks,
all right, then bye. Our correspondent Joshua Rogers speaking to us there. Rotimi, let's talk security.
Before the security, there is an important point which we have to make. Joshua said the expectations will be high on the APC. What expectations on who?
We don't know the candidate yet. We don't know the exact governor.
APC may have been declared the winner of the Bayelsa governorship elections, but APC cannot take office without a candidate. They won't go and swear in their logo. And this is where some of the absurd contradictions of the process start to reveal themselves. It is true that it is the party's logo that is on the ballot. It is true that people vote for the party. But if people vote for your party, or your party is declared the winner, your party cannot take office without a candidate. So you will be a victorious party, but you cannot take office because your logo cannot govern.
How would this play out, Rotimi? I mean, we cannot but talk about it, really. How will it play out? We have no idea, do we?
No, I mean, it's a long cut process. It's possible that APC may call everybody together and say, guys, we have won it. So let's just arrange this thing properly. Okay, you be the governor, you be the deputy, and we'll sort it out as things go on. If that arrangee is not well arranged, within a few months, the governor and the deputy will be at blows.
Right.
And as Joshua was saying, the expectations will be so high that if within 1 year they are not able to sort out everything, they will spend the 3 years explaining that after 20 years of the other party, they need another 20 to fix it.
Indeed. Now, let's talk about security. You heard what the civil society said, Yaga and the Situation Room, about security situations during the elections in Bayelsa and Kogi. It didn't sound impressive from their own point of view.
So we are told that there will be 66,000, not that there will be, that there are or there were.
Deployed.
Yeah, 66,000 policemen and women deployed. Honestly, in the case of Kogi, nobody can see what they did to prevent violence. I mean, as we are speaking now, I'm not aware that a single person has been apprehended in Kogi.
We're getting reports earlier that a couple of people have been arrested.
This morning. As of yesterday evening, and look, so the violence in Bayelsa was low by Bayelsa standard. In Kogi, it was high by any standard.
By any standards, that's right. The Kogi State Police Commissioner Hakeem Busari says 10 suspects have been arrested for various electoral offences.
10.
Yeah, during last Saturday's governorship election in the state.
Those 10 managed to go around the whole state, causing problems.
Rotimi, how about we take some calls? Let's go to the phone lines right now and get a few thoughts in. Here are the numbers you can call in case you are just joining us. We're looking at Kogi and Bayelsa elections in retrospect. By the way, Kogi's announcement is still coming up later on at 9 o'clock, just a couple of minutes away. Let's have your thoughts in. Let's also have you know that we will bring you updates because we are not going anywhere. We might have other programs on air, but once the result is being collated and announced, we are here to make sure that we keep you updated. Here are the numbers to call.
Call us on 01-277-0993, 01-277-1993, 01-277-2993, and 01-277-3993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
Absolutely. Let me take some tweets that have come in this morning on the program. I have this interesting tweet here. Okay, the tweets are not, they're just going everywhere. Let's go to the phone lines and take a few calls first. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Odisi from Ikorodu.
All right, go on ahead.
Yes, what Rotimi Sankore was talking about Bayelsa APC governorship issue. Really, is right. Myself, even I called the whole. That's why I'm from Southern Nigeria.
Okay.
That holding meeting in the village to vote for APC candidate who is from that same Southern Nigeria.
They held meeting in the village.
Hello?
Is that what you said? There was a meeting in the village.
Yes, because everybody living in Yenagoa have their voters card in the village.
Okay.
So before the election, about a week or 2 weeks to the election, they held a meeting that they are no more interested in PDP because for 20 years in PDP, there was no developmental something in that area. So when the day reached, really they did what they needed to do. They voted for that APC simply because the candidate they said is David Lyon. And that David Lyon and his opponent in the primary, they have a case issue. I told them that you people are going to vote for empty logo.
Right.
They said no. They know that they are voting for David Lyon. Go ahead and vote. True. They voted for APC with their own aim that it is David Lyon that is the governor of that state and will be the governor of the APC. That is the reason why they vote for APC.
Right.
Even the time of Alamis here, who is supposed to do a road to my mother's community there, very close to Alamis here community, he never did it. So all those things, bring all this problem of APC taking over Bayelsa.
All right then. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Hello. Good morning to you. Hello. Good morning. Are you there? No, you're not there.
The previous speaker, I think there are one or two mix-ups, but I think we get the point.
Yes, we do. We do. Hello. Good morning to you.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Wally. I'm calling from Kara area in the state.
Okay, go on ahead, Wally.
I want to say that we need to be very careful about the generalization of incidents that happened in the two elections. I think generally it's agreed that Bayelsa is peaceful, so we need to continue to hype that. Most of the time we tend to hype the negatives, so much so that we don't even talk about any positive things, Those, from what we had, nobody died in Bayelsa. That is a serious achievement in that agreement. That never happened. Even when it was PDP 100%, we still had crisis and feelings. When we had the PDP dominating that state.
Right.
So we need to be very careful. Let's not generalize the crisis. We need to isolate those areas where we had issues, and then concentrate on them. Even in Kogi, it's not everywhere that there are issues. In Kogi Center, there were no problems at all. Majorly. We only had issues in maybe 4 or 5 local governments in Kogi West and Kogi. So we need to really pick out this issue and isolate them.
That resulted in some deaths, if I might add. Well, thanks for your call. Appreciate it. Murtada Miki Yusuf on Twitter says, the result of the governorship election in Bayelsa was an incredible shocker for anyone living outside Bayelsa State to learn that the All Progressives Congress Party won the governorship polls in Bayelsa State. What a shocker for PDP. Thank you, Murtada. Hello, good morning to you. Oh, wow.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Rotimi Sankore.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Where are you? Where are you exactly?
I'm on the road.
Oh, wow. It's quite noisy. Very quickly, let's make this very brief. 30 seconds, please.
Okay, the thing is, I don't blame most of those big politicians, that is the big parties. I blame the little parties because they are not involving the people. Most times after the election like this, every of the party will go to sleep. They will not go in to reach out to people and let them know their manifesto, let them know their plans, let the people know what they intend to do for them. Before the next 4 years, you would have been able to gather a lot of people that will support you.
Right.
But if we keep doing it this way, these same people will mobilize their voice, give them the money they deserve, and people will go and still vote for them. So that's what I think. The little parties need to rise up, go out, enter the street, go to stations, go to TV stations, radio stations, communities, to sensitize the people and tell them what they will do for them.
Right.
So then we start having this kind of the change that we need in this area. If not, these things will continue.
Right. Thank you so much for your contribution. Rotimi, we need to custom now. Any takeaway from the elections in Bayelsa and Kogi?
Yes. In Bayelsa, it's also important to point out that despite what many people regard as the wonders of Nigerian politics, it's not possible that another party can defeat a ruling party even if the vote is free and fair.
Right.
It's not impossible. I mean, look at how President Macron came to power in France.
Right.
There was a young guy.
And Francois Hollande was there.
He was a young guy, led the formation of a new party en marche, and the voters were tired of the two big parties. And a new party with a young president, I mean, by Nigerian standards, they may even have described him as underage, swept the presidential polls. And people no, he can't do it in the parliament. It's not possible. The older parties are more entrenched in the parliamentary constituencies. And they repeated, they repeated it again in parliament. So it's not impossible that after 20 years, the electorate are tired, So I think it's something to note, but we'll see what happens with the litigation. In terms of security, one of the callers is right. Yes, we should point out where violence happened or did not happen. But the thing is, what is an acceptable level of violence? Nobody said there wasn't violence in Bayelsa. It's just that what was expected did not happen. It was much, much lower, but it still happened. And don't forget that all those islands where no news comes out from, we haven't had what happened there. Yeah, the places where you have to travel by water for 12 hours. So it was lower, the violence was lower, but it happened. In Kogi, even if the violence did not happen in Kogi Central, I think the violence was overwhelming in Kogi. And everybody saw that even where there were no deaths, there were thugs roaming about in official-looking vans, Hilux vans, Costa, in some cases followed by security. I mean, the level of violence in Kogi, by any standard anywhere in the world,
that's on another level.
Yes, I mean, cannot be accepted at all. So, but we'll see what happens with the Kogi results later in the day. You've already said that you will be here to bring it, even if it's as breaking news. But many lessons over the next few weeks. Everything will be tabulated properly and analyzed.
Right. Rotimi Sankore, policy and data expert, development expert, as a matter of fact. Thank you so much for joining the Morning Crossfire, as usual, and a great job in the coverage of elections in Kogi and Bayelsa. Many thanks to everybody that made our week a fantastic one for joining our coverage of the elections. We're not done yet. At 9 o'clock, final collation exercise will begin in Kogi, hopefully, and we'll be here to bring you results from that end. I am Sheriff Quadry, Ivana Haifo, Zainab Yakin, Tosin Akinride. Wemimo couldn't be here. It was a tough weekend, but then we are back tomorrow on the Morning Crossfire, 6 o'clock. You should join us. Do you have a fantastic day and stay here.